Hey everyone, welcome to Inspired TV with Karie Millspaugh, where we find our solutions in our situation. And today I have an exceptional guest. Her name is Marcie Peters. So excited to have her. I've known her for a couple of years now. We go way back, and we have the health coach industry type of commonality, along with our blonde sisterhood that we've got going on too. So welcome to the stage, Marcie Peters. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks for having me. And Gizmo's making a little cameo before I set him down. He wanted to say hi.
Hi. Awesome. Hi, Gizzy. I'm sure he will probably show up again throughout the interview, which is all good. We're
He
fine
does
with
tend to
that.
show up.
That's right. He'll steal the show. So tell us, Marcie, you're in beautiful San Diego, California. You're living the dream. You've got this beautiful health coaching practice that you do. You are known as America's whole health coach, whole life coach. In fact, you actually do a little bit of everything. So why did you choose this industry? So I'll let you just kind of share your story with our audience today.
Yeah, I'd love to, Karie. Thanks. So actually, I was never interested in health, which is ironic because I am a health coach and nutritionist now, among other things, like you mentioned. But I had no interest in health other than I exercised a lot, and I was always in the gym and just running myself ragged with that. But I had no interest in trying to eat healthy or eating more vegetables. I didn't like vegetables, so it was a kind of crazy thing that I stumbled into this. And the reason why is because in my early 20s, I became very sick. It was a perfect storm of all these different factors. I would say stress and not eating the right foods and eating the wrong foods and really just not taking care of myself in the right ways. And I got really sick, and I was sick for a few months, and I was going to different doctors and just saying, hey, I'm not getting any better. And they had no answers for me, and they had nothing for me. And basically at one point they gave me some labels and said, you're incurable, and were kind of insinuating that it was all in my head. But my whole body just hurt, and I was so tired and fatigued, but yet I couldn't sleep, and my joints were really starting to hurt, and I felt like I was breaking down. And I wasn't that old. I was about 22 at the time. So I actually there wasn't as much awareness back then as there is now, and so I actually was sick for a long, long time. I actually didn't take responsibility for some of my lifestyle choices, including what I was eating and my sleep routines and so forth. And so I was sick for 16 years, and I really, it was really just a hard time. And so coming out of that and turning that around has really been my life's work for the past 5 or 6 years. And then also helping people so that they don't have to suffer like I did is really what I've become so passionate about, because I've come to realize and recognize that no one has to suffer like that. For the most part, you really can turn things around for your health, and you really can make those decisions and find the answers. And so I am America's whole life coach now, because I started out as a health coach, but my work actually impacts people on all levels: mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical.
I love that you cover that, because I have family members that have been sick and have had years of research too. They feel like, going to the doctors and handing over this giant file, like, here you go, this is what they found so far that's not working. And and I know enough about you that that journey was a long journey for you to get on a healthier path. So tell us that, and I love that you said that they thought it was all in your head. What has been your exploratory as you work with your clients? What is really going on as you kind of dig deeper into those that you've helped?
So it's always a combination. When I was sick, it felt very physical. It felt like it was happening in my physical body. But what I've come to realize is that there is an emotional, mental, spiritual component to every sickness. And that's not to say there's nothing going on physical. It's on all levels. And that's also not to say that you are to blame for what is going on. There's no judgment and no criticism. That doesn't help anyone. So, but taking responsibility, stepping up and taking responsibility without the judgment or blame is really important. And and really looking at all those different levels. So I help people with their nutrition, and that gives them more energy and more fortitude to be able to then start digging deeper into emotional type experiences that might have happened, belief systems, mindsets, really looking at reframing and the interpretations that you might have had of things that happened when you were too young to really understand them. And ultimately, what it all comes down to is creating a life of empowerment, a life where you have the happiness, health, love, and wealth that you really want. And it takes, several different types of levels to go deep and to really figure that out. But it works.
Absolutely, it does. And I have to pick on the show The Biggest Loser for a minute, because with the health, again, is our platform. I love that you call yourself a whole life coach, because it really is the whole picture. It's got to, we're so multifaceted. We really need to dig deep and look at all areas of our life. I love the show The Biggest Loser. I love that people come to you for weight loss. Usually that's the external stuff they come to you with, and then you get permission to go deeper. But what's even more, that show, I would love it. I'd watch it. I'd cry with them. But there was something missing. Like, they didn't quite go deep enough to why that weight was on that person in the first place. And me, with a background, obviously, as wellness coaching, that's where I would start. Like, the weight's just a result of what's really going on the inside. And I know a lot of people come to you because of weight loss. We're coming up on the new year, and they're thinking, okay, 2015, I don't want it to look the same. I need to get help. So tell me, what you've had. Just give me kind of an examples of what transformation you've seen with some clients you've worked with in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. Going back to what you said, Karie, there is always something going on behind the scenes. And it might be hypothyroidism, it might be hormones, but usually there's also something else. There's also a belief about who you are and what you're capable of. Or there's, as humans, more than anything, we want to be right. And to be right, we will actually keep ourselves sick, keep ourselves stuck, keep ourselves from being as wealthy as we want to be, or having the love that we want to be, so that we can say, see, I'm unhealthy, or I'm not deserving of love, or the guys that I like don't like me back, and so I'll never have that love. And so we keep ourselves in that place. So really exploring that is incredibly important. Those underlying beliefs are what creates our experience of life, because that informs the energy that we're projecting into the world. So I've had so many clients experience life-changing results. In fact, pretty much all of them. One of my favorite clients is a gal who was sick for almost 20 years, and doctors had also told her, I'm sorry, there's not much we can do. And they gave her some kinds of advice that was, maybe helpful and maybe not. And they did talk about mindfulness, which is great. I love that the medical community is starting to bring more awareness into these other metaphysical things, but it wasn't really helping her on the level that she needed. And after a month with me, her symptoms were 50% reduced, and in 6 months, 70 to 80% reduced after all those years. I have had other people, almost everyone loses weight, pretty much everyone loses weight, so that's just a given. But it happens really quickly as your body normalizes and balances out. And then I had another gal who had an eating disorder, who had body image issues, who had been overweight since she was a kid. And we had to work through a lot of stuff with her mother. And she said, you're the first one that really believed in me ever and was really on my side, and they're rooting for me. So a lot of these types of cases where people don't know what to do, or they know what to do and they're not doing it, and they're not checking in with themselves. They're not mindful. They're not listening to their bodies. They're not really conscious of the decisions. There's a lot of subconscious or unconscious behaviors going on along with those beliefs that are really driving their lives, and they don't even know it. It's like an operating system running in the background. These assumptions that they have about themselves and who they are that actually aren't true and need to be brought out into the light and questioned to see if they're actually even valid and if they actually want to hang on to those beliefs and assumptions or create something entirely new. Because you know what, as humans, we actually are the only species on the earth currently that can do that, can decide what we want to believe about ourselves and about the world. And it's powerful stuff, and it goes well beyond losing weight and having more energy and sleeping better and having good digestion. And that all happens, which is great because it gives you more mental strength and wherewithal, but that's not really the main crux of my work. You know, that's a side benefit. That's just something that happens when the body balances out. And at the core of my work really is loving yourself, honoring yourself, respecting yourself, and having total compassion for yourself. And when you start to grow your relationship with yourself in that way, it changes everything.
It truly does. I love that you covered, we do have the power of choice. We are the species that gets to create our own life. So you might as well choose a really awesome one, is my opinion. You know, why choose something that looks, you know, very victim-like and dark and depressing when you get to choose and create it every day? Every day you get to start over again. So I love that you tapped into that, because that's the truth, and that's an awesome story about your client, that you got to come into her life and be a part of her journey and be that cheerleader. And you and I both believe in working on ourselves too. We're not just coaches, but we actually know that we need outside help, and we've got a support team around us that's always working with us too, so we can continue to create our best life. So we practice what we preach, clearly. But I do love that you get results quickly with weight loss. So kind of walk us through what you do when a new client comes on board. I mean, you do have great success stories, and it happens fast, which is almost without some type of weird pill that somebody's taking. You're just doing it the natural way. So kind of walk us through it. If I were your new client, what kind of methods do you use, and what would we start?
Yeah, so there is no magic pill, so that's the first thing to know. And it can happen relatively fast, but it doesn't for everyone, but it will happen if you follow certain guidelines. And the first thing is this approach that I talked about is having compassion for yourself. We're not shooting for 100% perfection. There is no such thing as perfection. So to require that someone follow a certain eating plan 100% just isn't realistic, and it will set them up for failure. So really knowing that each choice you can make for yourself will create a foundation. So having the right mindset, the mindset that you're giving this gift of health to yourself, that you're giving your future to yourself, and it's going to impact your family and those around you. Looking at it as an adventure and not a diet, but a lifestyle, and something you get to create for yourself that will be sustainable and last forever. So I have an anti-inflammatory nutrition plan, an eating plan, not a diet, that I will customize for each client, and it will be specific for their needs, what their current size is, where they want to get to, and what foods work and don't work for them. And then along with that plan, we're also, like I said, exploring sabotaging behaviors, limiting beliefs. What is the impetus for the excess weight? What is behind that? What is going on behind the scenes? Why would you choose to eat when you're not hungry? Emotional eating, right? You know, that's something that there's something behind that. The body isn't asking for food if it's not physically hungry. So really looking at those pieces and figuring out what is it that's keeping you from your goals. And for some people, I put them on the anti-inflammatory plan, and literally I've had lots of clients where within weeks or a month and a half, they've reached their goal and they're good. And other clients where it really is a process of reinforcement and bringing awareness and that accountability piece. And it does take a little longer, but the whole key is to do it without judgment and with such kindness and compassion for yourself. And just know that it's not about getting to the finish line, that the journey really is its own reward. And if you can enjoy the process, I know it would be great to drop 10 pounds in a week, But also, we all have our journeys, and those journeys are incredibly important. Those journeys are part of what shapes us and who we are. I know I wouldn't be who I am now without my journey, without those 16 years of, really struggling. Every day felt like a struggle. And it really helped shape me, and I'm really quite grateful for those years. And also for anyone who is in a place where they're struggling, or they have excess weight, or they don't feel comfortable with their body, this is a time to really enjoy the process and be present for the process, and to get the lessons that you need to learn, because there's a reason you're in this place, without judgment and without blame, but there is a reason, and it will serve a purpose. And if you can start to understand that and recognize that during and not after, you'll get so much more benefit from it.
It is such a journey, and in all honesty, this gives you permission to go deep and change lots of things in your life. And I'm sure you've seen this. It's not just the weight loss starts to change, or not feeling yucky anymore. They have more energy. Other stuff starts to show up in their life too, because they're actually starting with I'm sure a lot of people come to you and they start off kind of at that shame level. I'm overweight. I don't love myself. I feel icky. And that's the lowest vibration they can give out there to the planet. Once they start to feel that confidence, they love themselves again, I'm sure you start to see other things show up in their life too, like relationships and career changes. And as they're more confident, they start to, maybe they have a partner already and their relationship improves. So have you seen anything like that happen or show up with your clients?
Yes, absolutely. That's why I'm America's whole life coach, because as they're losing the weight and having more energy and sleeping better and feeling great in their bodies and loving their bodies, they are establishing boundaries in their relationships. They are creating loving, more close relationships, and they are getting more in touch with their life purpose. And they are moving, I call it moving closer to yourself. So we're taking a journey towards yourself. So often in life, we are moving away from ourselves. We avoid or repress, or, just try and stay away from ourselves as much as possible, and especially emotions that hurt and feel uncomfortable. So actually moving through that and having that breakthrough on the other side changes everything. And I have seen clients who have gone after their dreams, who had these dreams for a long time about what they wanted to do in the world and how they wanted to make a difference, and then finally start to move towards that with confidence and the self-esteem that they were lacking before, and start to create relationships based from a different place than they had in the past, and new beliefs about themselves. So really in every area, it's just been tremendous, watching, and I'm just so honored to be the guide. They're doing the work, but having someone who is a dedicated guide and holding the space for your transformation is really incredible. And I want to say one more thing about transformation. It's not about changing into someone you aren't. It's about becoming who you really are, because who you really are inside is pure love, is pure, amazing goodness, magnificence, just unique and special and one of a kind. So bringing that out instead of keeping it hidden and covered up under layer after layer, not changing into someone else. So when I talk about transformation a lot, and it's really about moving, like I said, that journey towards yourself, moving closer towards yourself, your true self, your authentic self.
I'm so glad you said that, because people they think the Transformers, the movie, where you get to change into a car, who do I want to be tomorrow? But you're so right. We're born into this planet, this beautiful life, as such innocent, beautiful children, and then life happens, and you start to get a few scars, and your heart kind of changes and shrinks a little bit and builds a barrier around it. Then you build a barrier around yourself with food a lot of the time, and you start to gain the weight, and you're just pushing people out, and you're suppressing who you are. And I love that you get to come in, kind of, I see you visually as a chipping away at the stone, that you built around yourself, and just, again, giving you permission to reveal your beautiful self that you came into the world being in the first place. Like you said, the mask starts to show up, so we get permission to let go of those. I love that. That's awesome, because I think people do totally see it or hear that word and think something else. They're like, well, I like who I am. Well, let's go deeper. and give you permission to be the real you. How exciting is that? That's so cool. Thanks for sharing that, Marcie. That's awesome. I love that you do a lot of stuff locally too. And in fact, if any of our listeners or viewers are in the San Diego area, you do work with people one-on-one. Go a little bit on that and what kind of great offers you have for your community.
Okay, sure. So a lot of people get stuck with what to buy, how to stock up my kitchen, how to put meals together that are delicious and healthy. So for my local clients, I will actually do a healthy grocery store tour. I will take them around. I will show them all the vegetables that they did not know the name of and were possibly intimidated by, had no idea what to do with or how to cook or why they should even be eating it, what nutrients and what benefit is this anyway. So really going around and pointing out all the amazing, delicious foods, going into their kitchens and cleaning out all the things that are potentially causing problems and keeping them in poor health or with low energy or excess weight, and then replacing it with the good stuff. And then also, for my clients who want it, we'll do the cooking lessons. I'll show them how to put stuff together fast and easy, 10 minutes or less per meal, and that includes chopping the vegetables. I have the system down after so many years. And then we can make meals for the week that can be frozen and brought out when needed, and just make it super easy and fun. So there's image consulting too. So that's another thing that I've been asked to do by my clients, is really, my female clients only so far, is really, let's take a look at your closet, let's get rid of things that are not right for you anymore. You've possibly outgrown, and I don't just mean physically, but it's not who you are anymore, and it's not who you want to represent yourself. Then we can go shopping and find things that really make them feel amazing and like their best self. And any of these things can happen anytime within the coaching program. Those are all adjuncts, and those are all add-ons to the private coaching, but there's lots of options.
I love that, because I know from experience that starting fresh is almost overwhelming. In fact, when I first started wellness coaching, I would take people through the grocery store too, and it was just so much easier for them to see it, understand it. And some people are just kinesthetic learners. They need that hands-on type of introduction from you. So that's a great opportunity, priceless, because again, some people just don't know how to get from A to B, and you get to literally walk them, hold their hand, and say, this is what you need to do. And I have to put in another plug for Marcie, because she knows stuff that I am just blown away. I'm learning from her all the time, because I'm part of her inner circle and learning. I get to have a little kind of VIP viewing of what she does. And the things she puts on her salads and the extra stuff that she's doing and bee pollen, and I'm like, what? I need to know more about that. Where do I find that? And my daughter's got allergies, and that helps with that. So she is a wealth of information, and those little secrets will just save your life, literally. So that's very good stuff. So anyone local.
Really quickly, Karie, when I first started getting into health and wanting to step up and take responsibility and turn things around for me, the first thing I did was actually take a grocery store tour with my mentor, Krista Orecchio, who's now a good friend of mine, and that was years ago. But that was my first entree, or my first introduction to what it could be like, and I thought, I'm just going to do this little tour. It's free. It's just an hour of my time, and it changed my life, actually, and it made it really accessible to me in a way that had not felt accessible before, and so that was really a catalyst for me. So I love doing that for other people.
That's perfect, because it's true. A lot of us have never heard of some of the items you might call for in a recipe, and then they'll omit them thinking, I don't know what it is, I'm not going to deal with that. But then you take a step back and educate them why it needs to be in there, why that ingredient or that vegetable or whatever it is that you're prescribing technically in the recipe, why it's so good for you, because that's what nails it home for me. I know with myself, I have to know the why. Why do I have to have that? What is it doing to me?
Nature's perfect. It doesn't lie. Every one of the vegetables and produce that are available out there, they all have its purpose. There's nothing that's superfluous, just like every organ in our body is there for a reason. There's nothing extra that we want to discard. So, really it makes sense to get in as much of those different profile of vegetables as possible, and fruits too.
Absolutely. You do a lot of, you eliminate sugar, don't you, right in the beginning stages with your clients? Is that what your little protocol is? I can't remember.
Yeah, so the anti-inflammatory diet does eliminate inflammatory foods, of which sugar is definitely inflammatory, and things that turn into sugar in the body. So that's my complete elimination diet. And then for the clients who that doesn't work for, we will stair step them into healthier upgrades little by little. It just takes longer and the results take a little bit longer. But for some personality types, that works better and it's less intimidating and less overwhelming, and especially with busy lives. So I really customize each program according to what is going to work and what will set them up for success. But I do like to cut sugar out for sure.
Well, yes, that is a climate. And that's like screaming disease right there. I love that you said that, because I know you work with private clients, and guys, if you need someone to do that hand holding, Marcie's your girl, because she will cater things to you. You're not going to get overlooked. It's not a one size fits all with her. She does know what works, and she'll of course like cater things to you and customize them, which is awesome. And that's I honestly believe why you get results, because there's a lot of health coaches out there that are a one size fits all and run every type of body type through it thinking it's going to always look the same. It's just not possible, you know. And like you said, some people need to go slower, some people like to jump all in. And I love that you get to do that. So that's the only way to go in my book, personally. So what else do you have going on, Marcie? You've got, and Marcie and I, I'm being in Las Vegas next door to California. I try to see her when I can, but which isn't often enough, personally. But by all means, we were at David Wolf's Women's Wellness event back in September. And I got to try one of her health bars, which is amazing. And I brought it back. I actually gave me an extra one for my daughter, who also loved it. She's 10 years old, and she's got this amazing product line, and I'm going to go on and just like try out everything that she's got. So talk a little bit about that and why you started it in the first place.
Yeah, I will. So I wanted to create healthy, convenient, I call it Go Nutrition, so that when you don't have time to make a whole meal or you don't have access to something that is healthy, you have something available. So I have nutrition bars, I have a protein shake, a protein powder that you can turn into a shake, and then also supplements. And I really did a lot of research to make sure that the ingredients are quality, that they're anti-inflammatory, of course gluten-free, dairy-free, low glycemic, and packed full of nutrition and wonderful goodness for the body to keep you going during those times when, like I said, you don't have time to make that healthy meal. So the bars are great. You can throw them in your purse or your bag or even your pocket. And I should have grabbed one, but and they're chocolate cherry. They're delicious. And eventually I'll come out with more flavors. That was my first flavor, and people have liked it so much, and it's been so well received that I'm kind of sticking with it. And then, like I said, later I'll look at other flavors. And then with the shakes, that's pretty easy too. If you have one of those shaker containers with the metal shaker thing, then you can just have your powder in there, and when you're ready, add your liquid, shake it up, and it's good to go.
That's awesome. Everybody likes convenience these days, and at least the feeling that it's, okay, I'm putting it in my body, there's not a bunch of chemicals or ingredients that aren't healthy, that you've at least, somebody like Marcie, who's an expert in this field, has already gone through and done the homework for you, so you can take the stuff with confidence and ease at home. So when would you suggest a shake, just for those out there that are like, what is a protein shake?
Yeah, so you want to make sure that your breakfast in the morning has plenty of high quality protein, and you want to be, depending on your size, you want to be getting 17 grams or more of protein first thing in the morning, along with your healthy fats. That's really important to help stabilize blood sugar and also set your metabolism for the day. So yeah, I think morning time is great. You can also use it as a meal replacement for any meal. But in the morning time, you can add some berries and some coconut milk. You can even add greens to it, and it'll still taste delicious. My protein powder is vanilla flavored, so it tastes really good. So yeah, it's really great anytime, but getting enough protein actually is really instrumental, and especially for those of you who have been dealing with chronic illness, I really see time and time again that's one of the things that's not happening, along with other things, but not getting enough protein as many times during the day, 3 times during the day is really important.
I totally agree. As a woman, we, for some reason, seem to leave that out. And as a busy mom, I know that breakfast sometimes gets skipped, and I've really adapted to the protein shake and really made it my own. And I like to add, obviously, other greens and fun things to it, superfoods and stuff too. But I'm glad you said it was vanilla, because I was totally going to ask, is it vanilla? Because that does adapt just to every flavor. It just tastes good with everything. You can put anything in it.
Yeah, chocolate is a little less accommodating to adding other things, but vanilla pretty much goes with everything. So that's why I decided on that one.
Yes, and it's a no-brainer. It takes 2 seconds, so I feel good. You know, I'm not skipping breakfast, and that's actually my first thing in the morning. As soon as I wake up, I do my shake, and I feel good that I at least started off the day in the right foot, especially when life's busy. That's awesome. So talk about the supplements, because obviously, anyone that's, you hear the word vitamin and you hear the word supplement, and there is a difference, but clearly. But why is it necessary to add that into your day?
So I went with the supplements that I consider really important for true health, because we're not getting all of those things in our food supply anymore like we used to with the soil being depleted. Most of us are not getting enough omega-3 fatty acids, so I have an omega-3 supplement. Most of us are not getting enough vitamin D because we're not spending huge amounts of time in the sun, and if we are, we have sunscreen or we're covered, and our torso is not available to the sun to get that nutrient. So I have a vitamin D supplement, which is actually a combination of vitamin D3 and K, which pair really well together. I have a multivitamin because, again, and I'm not saying, you have to take everything all the time, but, really think about supplementing here and there, and think about if you're coming down with something, or if you're feeling a little fatigued or a little tired, or, be strategic about your supplements. And I don't take supplements every day all the time. I definitely do give my body a break sometimes, but it's great to throw those in there. So multivitamin is a good general way to make sure you're getting vitamins and minerals. I have a supplement for stress, which is really great. It has a lot of calming ingredients. It has some herbal things, which are really nice and just help you kind of decompress in a natural way. And of course, everything's natural, non-habit forming. I'm all about doing things naturally. And then I have a few other supplements like probiotics, which again, you don't need to be taking all the time, but to be taking at least kind of on and off, couple weeks on, couple weeks off type of thing, or every other day. Give your body a break from it from time to time, but really make sure you're replenishing that good bacteria, because gut health is what will keep you healthy or not. So, and especially if you are taking antibiotics or have taken a lot of antibiotics, you really need to make sure that that gut flora is replaced. And then I have a couple other things, but really what I did is I just went through and I picked out the most important things that I know will help the immune system, that will help with overall vibrancy and energy support and feeling good and sense of well-being. And those are what I decided to put my name on.
I love it. Guys, there's so much it says, honestly, Marcie empowers you with education, and it's so simple. It's a pill. You swallow it. Life's good, and she obviously educates you on why you need to have each one. I love the stress one. That one's huge. I mean, we need bucket loads of that in Las Vegas, because everyone's going 100 miles an hour and zapped, completely walking around like zombies. So to have everyone calm down, that would be awesome. But that's beautiful, and it's all natural, so obviously it's not addictive.
Oh, and melatonin too. I forgot to. Melatonin is one of my absolute favorite natural substances. It's actually an antioxidant, and of course, it's known for helping with sleep, and it really works. Years ago, when I was on Ambien, which if anyone's on that for any length of time, I would say, really try to get off of that. Maybe short-term only use, because it will disrupt the REM sleep cycles. So melatonin saved me, and so that's a really important part of my line too. I wanted to mention that.
Very cool. And I'm sure she's going to keep on expanding, because that's what she does.
If there's one thing you can count on me for, Karie, It's that I never stop. I keep going, and I,
Right.
I mean, the way I work is I'm always thinking of things that will help make other people's lives better.
Yes. Marcie is pure love. She puts so much into her clients and, and she's thinking of, I love that she has this product line because so many people do get into overwhelm or your life is busy and you can't cook every meal, but now I've got this protein shake I can take, or at least I know I'm getting the supplements I need because I had to skip a meal or I didn't eat as well as today as I should have. And you just have that calming feeling like, okay, I'm still on the right path. I'm still doing the right work. So you filled in all those gaps and created lots of ease and flow with your clients, which is perfect. It's awesome. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So let's talk about, I have to bring it up because Marcie doesn't look her age, so she's totally cheating. But being sexy over 40, I mean, the image consultant part, and anyone that sees you is like, she's so pretty, she's so beautiful. How does she do it? How do we find out how she looks this way? And your pictures are gorgeous, and we just love you. And she really, truly is beautiful from the inside out. But kind of talk about little secrets that you do. Shed us a little light on how we can stay sexy over 42. And she's embarrassed. Are you blushing, my dear?
A little bit. I'll just turn the color of my shirt down.
That's right.
Okay, so back to there is no magic pill, there is no magic bullet. So it really is just an accumulation of healthy living. It really is. It really is just building that foundation of great health, going to sleep early, getting lots of sleep, drinking lots of water. This is my, big old water jug that I'm always checking all the time. It has some fresh lemon in it. And really, making sure you're eating an anti-inflammatory diet most of the time, still have your fun. And along the lines of fun, let life be an adventure. Let it be playful. Tap into things that make you smile, laugh, and happy. Like my dog Gizmo, who was on earlier, is definitely one of those things for me. And I have a whole list of them. So really getting in touch with yourself and knowing what you need to be happy, peaceful, centered, and have a sense of well-being. And those are the things that will also coincidentally keep you youthful. And youthfulness isn't about looks. It's great to if you have good skin or anything like that, but that's just extra. Youthfulness is really like anything else, like sexiness too. It's an attitude, it's an energy, it's not a look. It's what you portray, and it's the energy that you're putting out into the world. So, yeah, it really is, when you're jazzed about life, when you wake up and you're excited and you love who you are and being you, and you get to have the life that you're leading, and you love doing what you do, then everything else will follow, and that includes making those good decisions for yourself and youthfulness, too.
Mm-hmm. And it shows, when you shine. I always say happy attracts happy. You just get more of that good stuff into your life. You're like a little magnet. So I love it. You do have an ebook on that as well. So you guys should check that out.
It's on my website.
Yes. I will include the links to Marcie's, obviously, website, her product line, how you can book a session with her. All of that will be in the information box below this video. So it'd be easy to find you and try out some of your yummy bars. Seriously, those chocolate cherry, I mean, you can't go wrong with chocolate cherry. It's
so good. Yeah. It tastes like a candy bar. It's ridiculous that it's that healthy and tastes that good. I feel like, oh my gosh, what am I eating? Because I haven't had candy bars in years. And it's like, wow.
I know. I ate it, then read the ingredients. It's like, wow, I just add that? That's amazing.
All this fiber and all these healthy fats and some protein. It's like, all right.
Yeah, it's a win-win. It's a win-win. And just knowing what you're eating is all, where the empowerment part comes in. You feel good about yourself. There's no shame. Obviously, when you eat healthy, it's all good stuff. So let's kind of come towards a close here. We got the new year coming up. There's people that are thinking, how can I make life changes? What can I let go of? What can I grab onto for the new year? So kind of give us an idea of who is your ideal client and how can they get a hold of you? I mean, what does that look like, Marcie, for those that are interested in working with you?
Okay, well, I'm really picky about who I work with because I want it to work for you, and I will only take you on if I know I can help you, and I can help anyone who is committed and ready. It really does come down to timing in life. Timing is incredibly important, and let's face it, not everyone is ready or at a place in their lives where they can get rid of or let go, let's say let go or surrender things that have been holding them back. And you will get to that point eventually. And part of it is stepping up and making a decision and taking personal responsibility for your experience of life, knowing that you are the creator of your life and everything that shows up on the outside is something that's coming from the inside, even if it looks like it's completely external. So when you're in that place, then that's when I will consider taking you on, because I really want you to be successful, and I really don't want it to be some kind of codependency or enabling, or where you're not getting your money's worth. I really want everyone who works with me, and I have a really good track record because of it. People are just having great successes. So again, I can help with weight loss, confidence, self-esteem, limiting beliefs, sabotaging behaviors, emotional eating, life purpose, and I'm probably forgetting a few things.
No, I'm sure I'm sure there's more. I'm positive there is, but yeah, just even if you're just that woman that's like, okay, I can't get rid of these last 10 pounds, what's going on here? And sometimes that happens to us as we get to a level where it looks as good as we think it will get. And then we sabotage because we're not used to how great it really can be. That next level feels scary and weird because we've never been there before. So, maybe you're that person and you're that ideal client for Marcie. So do you have an application process? I'm trying to remember if there's a way.
Yes.
Of course, I'll include that link. Okay.
Yes. So if you're interested, the first step really is just to apply and see if you get selected for a free session with me. And I try to give away as many of those as I can. It's my community service that I do. Whether or not you work with me, I want to be able to provide you some inspiration and ideas. And so go ahead and fill out an application, and hopefully you'll get one of those sessions.
Exactly. It's like a lucky draw, guys. But yes, you have to be committed because coaches, we're here to empower you, not drag you along and enable you to the point where you can't even fly on your own. It's the whole teach a man to fish and he'll, eat for the rest of his life kind of mindset. So I love it. Any final thoughts that you have for any of us and inspire us for the new year?
Yeah, so what I'm recommending to all of my followers around the world this year is to, instead of right away setting your goals for the new year, is to actually take stock of where you've been. Is actually sit down and really be honest with yourself about what you've accomplished, what you wanted to accomplish and didn't, where you've been, what you've learned, and really just luxuriate in the experience of the year. Give it its due. Don't just rush past it. And this is how we can really start to create awareness and create forward momentum, is to really sit with what was before we move into what will be or what we want to be. So I would say do that. And then the second thing I would want to say is, there's always hope. There's always an opportunity to turn things around, no matter where you're at in your life or what's going on and how hard or challenging or bleak it seems. There is a way to turn it around. And in the midst of your pain and your challenge, if you can start to see the blessings in it and your all of your opportunities in it, then that will start to shift things right then and there.
Couldn't agree more. No, it's true. We're both pretty driven individuals, and to stop and to just see how far you've come, and how did I get here, and what can I choose and make different for next year, and still love myself.
Like I used to be, it would be like, well, what didn't work? What didn't I accomplish? And just being hard on myself. And, that actually will only keep you stuck and keep you held back. So really starting to shift into acknowledgement and what is working and what is there, and really appreciating.
That's beautiful. Beautifully said, my dear. Well, I want to let everyone know that the links that they need is in the body of the email and in the body of the video. I will have links to her products, her application. You can work with her one-on-one possibly if you're lucky enough. So I just want to thank you, Marcie, from the bottom of my heart for helping us kind of steer our direction in the right way for 2015. And it's been such a pleasure working with you. I love and adore you.
My pleasure. I'm glad we got to spend this time together here on Christmas Eve. So special. Thanks, Karie. I love you too.
Yes. Much love. Bye, everyone. Mwah.
Bye.